Okay, it says we're live there. Now we're live on TikTok. Here's oh. Oh no, this is going to be the test. Oh god. Your studio's behind you. Behind that little window. There we go.
Okay. All right, guys, we're trying a little different setup. So, you know, we're going to do some SAT problems just while we kind of try out some of our technical stuff. But go ahead and take a look at this. And I think last time everybody kind of talked about how there's like a bar at the top, so it's hard to see the question. So I'll move it down like that.
Yeah, you just want like a kind of a margin, like that's a good margin around.
Okay, great. So we've got 4 times root 2x equals 16. So we're going to try to figure out what 6x is. All right, Bruce with the first idea. Okay, got a lot of 48s going. All right, guys, get your answers in. We'll start going over it in just a minute. You used AI for it. Well, you know what? We're going to get into it in just a minute. So then you wouldn't have to use AI. You could use just I. Okay, let's see. We got lots of A's, lots of B's. Let's see. Jack is insistent that it's A.
We got a 48 on YouTube, and Felicia said hi.
Hi, Felicia. Oh, I like that you included your explanation, MS. All right, last call for answers. Let's get into it. All right, so those of you who are just joining us, welcome. I'm Sarah. We do math problems today. We're trying a couple of different setups, streaming on a few different platforms, so make sure you check us out there and give us a like, a follow, click the link, do the stuff, all that good stuff. But let's get into it. Let's go ahead and look at this, and this is an actual SAT question. It's from one of the practice pages. All right, so we've got 4 times root 2x equals 16. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to, first, I'm going to change my pencil thickness. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to write this out. So I've got 4 root 2x equals 16. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to kind of like unpack and get that x out, because I know I can figure out 2x. I want to solve this for x and then plug it into 6x. So when we talk about the SAT, there's really two major strategies for it, which is either use the answer choices and plug them in and see which one works, or you actually solve the problem and then find your answer out of the choices. So we're gonna do this, the latter option, right? We're gonna actually solve for x and figure out what 6x is and then find our answer, hopefully, on out of our choices. So if we divide both sides by 4, we have root 2x equals 4. So then if I have the root, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to square everything. So the square of the square root is just going to be itself, right? So root 2x squared is just going to be 2x. 4 squared is 16. And then I divide both sides by 2. And I get that x equals 8. Okay, now our answer is not 8, right? Our value for x is 8. So then I use that up here. 6 times 8 is 48, so my answer is B. Yay! Gold star. Okay. All right, excellent. So many of you got that, that's awesome. Okay, let's see, let's look at this one. Okay. Are we going to do harder questions? So some of these do get pretty complicated, but right now we're just kind of doing a few SAT problems just to kind of get some things sorted. So we're just kind of doing some SAT problems, but these are actually from the practice problems that are from the College Board with the SAT practice exams. So I know that the SAT is a little bit different setup now with most everybody doing it online and doing it digitally through Blue Book, but this is still good practice for answering the questions, okay? And what I like about these is that when you go through these, you know, a lot of people like always say, oh my God, this is so easy, this is so easy. But it is actually SAT. Like the SAT is primarily like pre-algebra and algebra 1 stuff, which is what we really focus on this channel. So again, if you're new here, click link, subscribe, all that good stuff. Because we do get into a lot of different like concepts and things like that, especially if you're struggling with any algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2 concepts. That's where our main focus is, but also pre-algebra and, you know, just number sense and, you know, pretty much everything. We don't really get into pre-calc or calculus much, but we do a little bit occasionally. Okay. All right, let's see. Thank you. I try to explain things. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, everybody gets a little bit of the summer slide. So that's why we kind of do just mainly like SAT sort of questions during the summer, because it's just enough to kind of keep you going. But when we get back into the school year, which I know for some of you is coming up pretty quick, we do weekly live sessions where, you know, we'll go over concepts and I'll reteach things. I've been a math and science teacher for over 20 years, so I'm here to help. So we do a little Math Thursday every Thursday, a little Ask Me Anything. Okay. Okay. This is actually an SAT question. It is from the official SAT suite of problems. So SAT problems are primarily pre-algebra and algebra based. Yeah, the majority of these SAT questions are pre-algebra and algebra. Okay, So let's take a look at this. So which expression is equivalent to this expression, 8x cubed plus 8 minus x cubed minus 2? So one thing that really sort of makes a big difference in this question is that minus sign in between them, okay? Because what you're looking at is you've got 8x cubed plus 8, you've got that expression, then you're subtracting x cubed minus 2. So when I'm looking at this, what it's actually going to be is 8x cubed minus x cubed. So I've got 8x cubed minus x cubed, which gives me 7x cubed. Okay, and I'm just looking for my like terms here. And then I've got 8 minus negative 2. Which when we're subtracting a negative, that becomes plus. So that's 8 plus 2, which is 10, positive 10. So what we've got is we've got 7x cubed plus 10, which is going to be B. Okay, now I saw a lot of people chose D, which is a totally understandable mistake to make. Absolutely. But you want to remember that you've got that minus sign in the middle. So that kind of flips the symbol. So I could have rewritten this as 8x cubed plus 8 and then kind of like distributed that negative, right? That's going to kind of go off to the side, right? So it's going to be minus x cubed plus 2. If I take that negative sign between them and I kind of distribute it, it's sort of like multiplying everything by -1. Okay. So there we go. We've got 7x cubed plus 10.
We're good. We can end it and then just do another stream tomorrow.
All right. Okay. We have almost 300 people watching on
You can keep
TikTok
going
right
too.
now. All right. We'll just finish out this. Hey, I don't really want that page. I don't really want to get into that. Let's see. I had a bunch of them on here. Okay, let's see. I know you guys are going to not believe me that this is from an SAT, but I promise you this is from an SAT exam. Okay? So Edward, this is from the SAT. So this is from the SAT. So this is primarily for high school students. I don't know where you're based, but it's sort of like a, not really an entrance exam, but an aptitude test. You take it, a lot of colleges require you to take it for admissions. Okay. Yeah, so I know, I saw somebody going, it's Wednesday, it's not Math Thursday. I know. Crazy. We will be live for Math Thursday tomorrow. So those of you who are just joining us or who are new to the channel, we go live every Thursday for Math Thursday. So we'll go live every Thursday evening at, well, usually in the summer we've been going live during the day. You know, it's kind of like whenever inspiration hits. You know, just do a little math. It's great. But so we definitely go live every Thursday, and during the school year, so really like September through June, we are live every Thursday evening, just for like an AMA for an Ask Me Anything. Okay. All right. Ooh, I like how you estimated that, Fernando. Yeah. So a good SAT score, I think usually in the 13 to 1400 range is a good SAT score. The max now is 1600. So for a while it was, I don't even remember what it was for a while, the max, but then they changed it back to 1600.
I think it was like 2100.
Yeah, it was 24 for a while or so. I don't know. Yeah, flip the percent and the number and it's easier. I know. Okay, so 20% of 440. So again, on the SAT, you will have a calculator that you can use. So if you wanted to just pop this into your calculator, the word of means times or multiply. right? So like 1/2 of 10 is 1/2 times 10, okay? So 20% is 0.0 or 0.20, woof. So you're gonna have 0.2 times 440. Okay, so you could do that in your calculator, or what you can also do is, this is a really easy way to calculate tip too, like a 20% tip, is 10% of any number, you're just gonna move the decimal to the left one spot. So 10% of 440 is 44. So if you just move the decimal over one time. So then 20% is going to be 2 times 44, which is 88. So our answer is B. Okay. Again, I know that seems like a really convoluted way, a really expanded explanation for that. But yes, you can do it. So yes, you can do it in your calculator. The calculator is the most efficient way. But the more like real life application when you're trying to figure out a tip again is move the decimal over, whatever's there. Throw your pencil across the room. Whatever's there, you move the decimal over one spot and then multiply it by 2. That's 20%. That's a good tip. And you can just kind of round it off, whatever it is. Okay. Or you could do 440 divided by 5 is 88. Absolutely. There's so many different ways to do it, right? That's why math is really fun. There's so many different ways to get to the same answer.
Do it, lady.
Oh. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is going to be our last problem for today. I can't remember if we did this one last time or not. I don't know. Oh, Joey, algebra never goes away. Algebra never goes away. It's always there. You're going to do it every day no matter what. Your whole life you're going to do algebra, I promise. I know you all don't believe me, but I promise you will. But Joey, think about it. Like, you do algebra when you think like, okay, I have $20. If you're at like the snack bar at the pool, I don't know, my kids are at the pool right now. Like if you go to the snack bar and you're like, okay, I have $20, what can I get? Okay, that right there is algebra. That's it. Okay.
Nikita Jane asked, how can I be good at calculus?
Woo! Practice, 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 Nikita. Calculus is all about all math class is really just practicing over and over and over, right? That's what it is, and it takes time. And calculus especially, some of those problems you get, man, you're filling up like an entire page of paper just for one problem. And you get to the end and you're like, oh, the limit does not exist. Oh. But practice. Yeah, Donnie, I like that. Algebra is just figuring out a puzzle, right? It's figuring out a missing piece. It's figuring out a missing quantity. Yep. Okay. Learning disabilities. Learning disabilities are more common than you think, right? And so with learning math with a learning disability, there are ways that you can shift your approach to help you feel more successful with it. Okay, I've been a teacher for a really long time, and I've had some students with some pretty profound learning disabilities, but you can do it. You can do it. It's just going to take practice and trying different things, right? Okay.
And Nitika, I mispronounced her name. It's Nitika.
Okay.
Nitika Jane. I want to be a math teacher in the future. Any tips for that?
Yay! Just be a math teacher. Math teachers, it's the best. It is absolutely the best. I started out as a science teacher, but quickly became a math teacher. Just keep... being a math teacher is really, really, really rewarding because I know it comes with a lot of like baggage for a lot of kids, right? And so being a math teacher, just stick with it and see what kind, if you know you're going to be a math teacher, I don't know where you are in your schooling or anything, but keep thinking about those math teachers, what you really like about them and what you really didn't like about them, right? So keeping that in mind, you're lucky if you already know that you want to be a math teacher. I didn't realize that I wanted to be a teacher until after I had already gone through college. So I had to kind of find my own way and things like that. But yeah, being a math teacher is great. Okay, so let's get into this one. All right, so this f of x, for those of you who may not be familiar with this, and there may be some of you who are not familiar with this, this just means the function of x, okay? So f of x is what I get when I plug in x for a value. So something like f of a would be 4a minus 3. Whatever's in the parentheses is what you substitute in. So if in that parentheses is a number like 2, you would do 4 times 2 minus 3, which would be 5. So f of 10, this replaces the x. Whatever's in the parentheses replaces the x. So f of 10 would be 4 times 10 minus 3. That's 40 minus 3, which is 37. So the answer is B. Have all of ours been B today? Pretty close. Again, I'm writing all of this out just so you guys can see my thinking and I can explain it and all of that. But, when you're on the SAT, oh, kind of squished in a little bit. On the SAT, nobody's checking your work. You don't need to show your work. It's fine. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So it kind of depends on what the student's needs are. A lot of times, and it depends on if I'm making modifications or accommodations. So modifications are where you actually modify your curriculum, you change what your students need to learn. And I have had students that have been on a modified curriculum like that. So it really just depends on the individual student, what they need, what their learning profile is, things like that. But a lot of it is modification more in the practice, not necessarily in the content delivery at first, but there may be something where I deliver the content to the whole class, then I touch base with those students one-on-one. I've had students that have learning, parapros, right? An aid kind of with them. I've had a lot of different profiles in my classes over the years. Okay, guys, have a wonderful afternoon. If you like this, we will be doing this again tomorrow afternoon, basically 24 hours from now. Tomorrow afternoon, come join me. If you like this, give it a like, click, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye. Oh no, my mouse is dead. No, it's alive.